Audi's mid-size Q5 and large Q7 SUVs are a favorite amongst many American drivers. Yet many owners will have to wait for their new vehicles as they sit in U.S. customs while the company scrambles a response to new tariffs of 25%.
This is now to consider, to wait what is happening. Are there any further negotiations with the Trump administration? What is the strategy within the Volkswagen Group? How to deal with imports, how to deal with the additional tariffs, who is hit with it, and to what extent. And I think this is why everybody is waiting.
Audi has responded, saying, the Volkswagen Group, and thus also Audi AG, is closely monitoring developments and will conduct a comprehensive internal assessment of the potential impacts, including on supply chains and our production network. The entire automotive industry, as well as global supply chains and operations, and also customers, will bear the negative consequences.
Despite Audi's Q5 and Q7 being built in Mexico for the U.S. market, the German company's vehicles do not comply with the required 75% local content rule included in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement on Trade, which means they are liable to the 25% tax put on imports.
Many others are facing the same issues. Netherlands-based auto giant Stellantis, which owns Chrysler, Jeep and Dodge, among other major brands, has announced it is pausing production at some of its plants in Canada and Mexico. Washington is hoping to incentivize automakers to move their production to the U.S. British automaker Jaguar Land Rover have also paused their U.S. shipments to assess the impact of Trump's tariffs.
Their cars, the SUVs, they are deemed as light trucks because especially the displacement, the engine volume they have. So that means it is 25%, which was the original import tariff, plus 25% of the penalty tariff, meaning 50% on. So now it's the consideration, is the volume in the US big enough to perhaps start planning a plant in the US, what they didn't have before.
Speaking at a Jaguar Land Rover factory in the UK, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that the global economic consequences could be profound.
Yes, we have to keep pragmatic and calm in the steps that we take, but we also need to keep a sense of perspective and context. The relationship between us and the US is a long-standing relationship that has helped to keep the peace for 80 years. We now have to step up to the challenges that tariffs undoubtedly put on the table for us.
And that involves strategic adjustments to automotive export practices in order to mitigate the financial impacts. Natalie Carney, CGTN, Munich.